So, AEW is on the verge of announcing a new TV deal that is apparently worth more than $170 million. 3 years, I think, with an option year. A new show in the works, possibly AEW Shockwave. What the hell is anyone naming these shows? These all sound like things from the 90s, by the way. I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, okay. I guess Rampage may be going away. There's a lot to this TV deal. We've got True TV involved. Fox possibly involved. And look, that's all great and fine. It's good news for AEW that they might have their first profitable year. And, I mean, it's only taken half a decade. But my question is, like, okay, all of this, what is that going to change about the ratings and the attendance and the fact that the product right now is, quite frankly, worse than it's ever been? And that's not like hyperbole. I mean, it's worse than it's ever been. There's no heat in anything going on in AEW right now, really. All their storylines that people were gassing up have now cooled off. They tried to do a thing where like 5 people got murder attempted on them at AEW. All Out, I think that was the show. All Out, whatever one is not the Wembley show. And that was just weird. That just creeped people out. It was really weird to see. I don't understand what this TV deal does in the long term. For me personally, it's just a temporary band-aid. Because you still have the fact that they are once again heading for record low attendance for AEW Grand Slam. No one's clamoring to go to AEW Grand Slam. You still have the fact that the TV ratings are down across the board. I mean, it is abysmal, especially for Collision and Ramp. It is abysmal, okay? I mean, they're competing with NXT again. And also just the fact that there's really, in general, there's no buzz surrounding AEW. Now, this will give it some temporary buzz. It's a good TV deal, right? If everything reported is true, it's a good deal. It's good for AEW. They'll finally be able to turn a profit at least this year, at least in 2025. But at the same time, what are we gonna do about the long term? Because if you look at AEW right now, and AEW has had its moments where it hasn't been, great. It has its moments where they've had a really nice string of shows and then fall off a cliff immediately. But I think AEW fans need to be honest, because they're doing this thing where you can't say anything bad about AEW. There's always an excuse for why the ratings are down. There's always an excuse for why people aren't buying into the product. There's always an excuse for why people aren't tuning in or going to the shows. There's always an excuse, and that's partly the reason why AEW won't grow, because you have these people who hype up guys like Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia and all these guys who, to AEW fans, they might be a draw, right? To those diehard AEW fans. What about the not diehard AEW? What about people who just watch AEW casually? Which I know that number is really low, because, I mean, look what they put on the show. It's no one casually is just going to sit there and watch that every Wednesday. It's asinine. No one's going to tune in to watch Jack Perry every Wednesday. But you have to be honest with yourself. These gimmicks aren't working. These storylines aren't working. This is really weird. AEW trying to position itself to be a more edgy product, and it's just cringe, right? They've got John Moxley pretending to be Tyler Durden or something, some Australian crap. They've got Jack Perry, still 4'11", but he grew a beard, guys, and he scowls at the camera and he breathes heavy in his promos and he swears. And then you got MJF, who thinks the only way to have a good promo is to scream into the microphone. Actually, that's pretty much what most wrestling they think screaming into the mic. I mean, it's a problem in WWE too. They think screaming into the microphone makes a promo good, but none of this is working. The women's division seemed like it was headed in the right direction. Now it's cooled off completely now. There's not enough women's content. There never has been in AEW, but I mean, you think with the amount of hours Tony Khan has on TV, he has the advantage of building a women's division. And it's not like the women's division is split either. It's not like the problem WWE has or has had in the past where, they've had to split their women's divisions across two different brands. Now they've since solved that problem, right? Because whether you like WWE or not, they clearly are invested in their women's division. I'm not saying they book it good, but they clearly are invested in their women's division. There's a big difference there. You can tell when someone is invested. Tony Khan gets on there, he talks a big game, but when talk comes to talk, I mean, just look at it, right? And the tag team division has soured. I mean, look who they got the titles on. What are we doing here? There's still guys missing from TV. Where the hell is Ricky Starks? AEW has put itself in a decent position for now, but there's still tons of long-term discrepancies they have to address and they have to solve. Now, I want to talk about like the Fox thing, right? Because apparently, AEW. My personal, what am I trying to say? My personal theory is that when people say Fox, they're just referring to like a Fox affiliated network. Like how you would call TNT and TBS Turner Products. I think they're referring to a Fox affiliated network. I don't know if it's going to be on Fox or an AEW show is going to be, or even an AEW wrestling show is going to be on Fox. Because, think about this. Everyone is talking about how WWE is hotter than it's ever been, and the business is booming, and yada, yada, yada. They break records. Most of that's because ticket prices are so high and, inflation and stuff like that. But, even then, Fox didn't want to keep WWE. They lost money investing in WWE. Now, that's when WWE SmackDown would do 2 million viewers. Sometimes Roman Reigns showed up maybe closer to 3 million. And people would say, oh my God, SmackDown gets millions of viewers. Now, when they meant millions, the bare minimum, right? They meant 2 million. That's not really what people think of when they think millions. It's like, I have thousands of dollars. Oh, I have 1,000. I have $1,500. Look, AEW is not going to be pulling in the same ratings as WWE. So think about that. Fox wants like NFL type numbers out of their products. They want crazy. They want 10 million. They want anything above like 6 million. Because I used to watch Gotham back in the day, and Gotham was doing good viewers. Still canceled. Now, part of that is because Fox didn't know how to promote the show to save its life. And nobody really gave it a chance because they didn't know how to promote it. But what is AEW going to bring to Fox that won't just have them saying no in a few years? Saying, oh, in a few years, They're not going to pull in what WWE pulled in. They don't have that dedicated viewer base that WWE has. Maybe, they could get 2 million viewers on an AEW product. It is SmackDown. It is like free-to-air TV or whatever. So people would just have it on anyway. Not exactly just not watching the show. It could just be on someone's TV, Which I believe was a lot of the case for SmackDown sometimes. But what could he bring? What could Tony Khan bring that's gonna do anything different than WWE does? Because if WWE couldn't keep it, and WWE's red hot, WWE couldn't keep Fox interested, what is AEW going to do? I'm sorry. I mean, look, I want to be optimistic too, sure. Actually, I don't really care that much. But, wow. I feel like it's just a temporary ban that I feel like AEW is still in the danger zone. Danger of being canceled? No, obviously. They've got a billionaire backing them, so as long as his dad's got money, Tony Khan will keep pumping his dad's money into the company, sure. And AEW will be like a parasite that doesn't go away. It'll be like TNA. But, yes, congratulations, AEW. You still have a huge problem, though. And I hope AEW fans can take off the goggles and start solving that with Tony.